piggybacking off that to send a review invite maybe 1 or 2 days later, once sort of you've put the t-shirts on,
you've actually had a chance.
Gone down the pub, everyone's complimented your t-shirt, you're in a good mood. So
no one did.
That's probably best, we'd say.
So thank you for joining. I think it's going to be really cool because we've never really talked about like the importance of reviews and how that can help clients essentially make more money and convert their traffic better. And it's such a critical part of it, isn't it?
Absolutely. I think, all of us take reviews for granted in, some area of our life. If you're looking to book a hotel on booking.com, you're going to look at reviews.
Yeah.
If you're going to see a film, you'll probably look on, Rotten Tomatoes or, IMDb, what film you're going to look at. And when you're buying something, I'm quite stingy when it comes to spending money. So I'll almost look for a reason not to buy something. And if I see a bad review of a product, I'll tell my girlfriend, no, we're not going to buy that. Let's look somewhere elsewhere. So very important.
It's just such a big part of that buying or like a consideration process, isn't it? It's just so important. So before we dive into the detail of exactly what that is and how you help and what brands can do to kind of get better at that, what do you do? Who are you?
Yes.
What do you do at Trustpilot? Give us the lowdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
On Ed Bolton.
So Ed Bolton. So I work in our partners team. So I work specifically with agencies that we partner with. So keeping them in the loop of new updates from Trustpilot, new reports from us, how clients can use a platform. Are there any potential gaps in their clients, like on their reputation? For example, what's their rating on, Trustpilot? How might that be perceived by consumers? What are they looking to do around like increase their traffic, conversion rates, and sort of educating our partners and agencies on how Trustpilot might be a solution that can help some clients.
Awesome. And how long have you been there?
So I've been at Trustpilot for about 3 years now, just under. Before being in our partnerships team, I was in our customer success or account management team. So speaking with brands, hearing what issues they have and like how they can use Trustpilot to help some of them, and generally being like their supported advisor at Trustpilot. So
how do brands get going? Because it's so hard to start building up that base because you need a volume of orders, but it's like the real chicken and egg thing, isn't it? If you're struggling to get the volume and convert the traffic because you don't have the review base yet, it's hard to then build up the base of reviews. So how do brands get started? Like, what's your recommendation for a brand that's maybe decided that they need to focus on their base of reviews? Yeah, it's a good question. It is a bit of a chicken and egg situation as you described. So there's different ways through Trustpilot, for example, brands can collect reviews. So if they're on an e-commerce platform, if they're using Shopify, just as an example, they can use an integration we have that will automatically trigger a review invite to a customer, for example, 2 days after the product arrives. So it's all automated. Once they turn it on, they don't have to manually send it to each person. That will go out. I buy a coffee table. 2 days later, I get an email saying, what did you think of buying from, benscoffeetables.com? What did you think of the table? Write your review here. So making it really easy is very important for consumers. We're all time poor. Unless something's made really easy for me, like to review the hotel I stayed in or restaurant I went to, I'm probably not going to go out my way to do it unless I may be annoyed because I had a super bad experience or, I didn't feel like I got my money's worth. Then I'll probably go out and leave my feedback. I'll probably be cross. So it's more likely to be a bad review if I'm not asked. Whereas if I'm asked, I'm probably more willing to say, oh yeah, this was good. I sort of, it was as I expected. I was happy with it. Tapping into those kind of silent majority, as it were, of consumers for a brand. On that point about asking for reviews, why it was my little boy's birthday a few weeks ago, and we did the party. His friends came round. We hired this. It's basically like a van full of consoles. It was,
Okay,
it was like
cool.
it was wicked. But I remember, like, a couple of days after the party, got a text from, and it's a small business, but from the owner of that business. It was so personalised. It was, look, we're a family-run business. You know, we're really trying to keep going. If you've got 5 minutes to leave a review, it would massively help, and we'd really appreciate it. Obviously, we hope you had a great time, all that type of stuff. And it was like just a really personal message. And it's like, yeah, cool, I'll do that. You know, 2 minutes out of my day to help a small business, absolutely. But if they hadn't messaged, I wouldn't have.
Yeah, that's it.
thought
You
about
almost
it.
just don't necessarily think of, you know, can I leave a review? How can I do this? Or it's not something that often comes up naturally, but when it's made easy, you're like, oh yeah, I've got like 100%. I'm more than happy to.
Yeah.
Advise about that. And I think for, you know, maybe some new brands or brands that have a real like customer ethos where people who buy from them buy into, you know, the mission of the brand. I think that's something where, you know, with a review, they've probably got a higher propensity of giving that feedback because they enjoyed buying from there. You know, it resonates with what they believe in as a customer, you know, compared to, you know, maybe a $1 billion like fast fashion company where it's like very transactional. You buy your clothes, you return them. You know, you probably don't have the same desire to leave a review because
Just not the same personal connection, is there?
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely. So, like, proactively asking is obviously a massively important part. Timing on that, question for you. So I ordered a pack of T-shirts. It was like a classic D2C type brand. Saw the ad on Instagram, bought the T-shirt. Turns out these T-shirts are getting shipped from America, so they took about a week and a half to arrive, which I probably just rushed the purchase and didn't bother reading the information. But to me, that was a surprise. And then a day after the purchase, started getting harangued for leave a review, do this, do that, and then more review requests. I'm like, it hasn't turned up yet.
Hasn't even arrived, mate.
Like, so
that's
timing's quite important, I
Yeah,
imagine.
that doesn't sound like they had their timing
No,
accurate.
they could have done that better, I think.
Yeah. So that's key, right? You know, if you send a review request at the wrong time, you know, you can't, you know, retract that review request and actually, we're actually going to send it now in a week sort of thing. So you're obviously going to queue up before when you want the review invite to go out. So we would normally advise something like, in that situation, if a brand is using something like Shopify, or if they have any emails that go out in an automated way of your product's now been delivered or it's arrived, piggybacking off that to send a review invite maybe 1 or 2 days later, once sort of you've put the T-shirts on, you've
actually had a chance.
Gone down the pub, everyone's complimented your T-shirt, you're
No
in a good
one did.
mood. So
No one did.
that's probably best, we'd say.
Yeah, it's you know, and you look at the platforms and the information you got available to you. It's not hard to start going, oh, John's ordered this from the UK. It's going to take a couple of weeks to get there. We'll delay that process a little bit. It's not rocket science, is it?
No.
I'm gonna ask you a question that I don't think again was on the notes because why stick to?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Freestyle.
But from your experience of working with agencies and agency partners and on the customer success team, you obviously know so much about the platform. What's the one thing that you wish everyone took advantage of? Like if there could be one thing on the Trustpilot platform that brands can do, what would that be that you're like, I just wish everyone...
Killer question.
But properly on the spot.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things. Like, I didn't know about the one-star review notification, so you can deal with it really quickly.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And the fact you've also got so much data that people can go and analyze and review and, you know, use to understand more about how to be better at what they do, or like the trends in a different sector. There's so much within the platform that I don't think people realize quite how much is there.
Yeah. Do you know what I think it sounds very obvious, and it's people, I don't think brands do this enough, but they should, is finding reviews that like perfectly sum up why people buy from you and why you want other consumers to buy from you. So, for example, a lot of competitions companies use Trustpilot because, you know, it's an industry where you take a risk. You know, there's a high chance of this £2 you spend on a ticket, you're not actually going to get anything. So when those type of businesses get reviews of people saying, never thought I was going to win, so glad I entered, I'm so happy with this, you know, scooter or watch I won, you know, people who, that's going to appeal to that target audience of people who don't buy regular tickets, but who they want to try and become customers and get into that, get into their customer base of people who've never taken that risk. So finding reviews like that, I think, looking through all the reviews they've got, strategically grouping those into like a collection to pull those through onto the site specifically, having those in ads, I think is really powerful. I see at the moment like a massive campaign by Octopus Energy. So they're on all these billboards in London at the moment. There's one right by my house on a bus stop, and it pulls through a collection of their Trustpilot reviews. And one that I always remember is just like, finally an energy company I can trust, like with their green stars pulling through. And that is, you know, that is going to appeal to so many people who have been conscious of price hikes, you know, renewals that are way more than they hoped for. You know, what type of tariff am I going to go on to? How is this supplier going to support me? You know, and that is just that's going to be really powerful to a lot of people in seeing that. So I think finding the reviews that, you know, spending a bit of time looking for, okay, which one is most relevant to the type of customers we want to work with, what's going to resonate the most, I think it's quite an obvious thing, right? It's not super complex.
Yeah, but it's taking the time to really think about it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah, I love that. Well, look, Ed, thank you so much. That was fascinating and like really cool to get a glimpse of kind of your recommendations on review strategies. So thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you, John.
All right. Cheers.
Great chatting.
Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed that episode, please do come and subscribe. Join us for future episodes where we talk about the ins and outs of running paid media and driving improved conversions and revenue for your business. See you next time.